Have you ever wondered why we can't just have everything? You want the new iPhone, a bigger house, and you want to order from Zomato every single day. But your salary is fixed. And this problem isn't just yours. It's a problem from Mukesh Ambani and even the Indian government. Why don't we have infinite money and infinite resources? And why does the whole country panic when the price of onions goes up? Friends, this isn't magic. This is economics. People think economics is just boring charts and graphs. Wrong. Economics is the study of how we make choices when there isn't enough stuff to go around. If you want to understand how the world works from your local Corona store to the Reserve Bank of India, this video is for you. Give me just a few minutes and I will clear up the entire mess of economics for you. Namaskar, friends. Welcome to Everything Simplified. Today, we are talking about economics. No BS, no fluff. We won't use complex words. We'll talk about pizza, chai, jobs, and your pocket money. Today, we will learn why do prices go up and down? Why can't the government just print money and make everyone rich? And how is your job and salary actually decided? So, let's get started. First, a basic truth. Resources in the world are limited. The source says if pizza were infinite, economics wouldn't exist. But pizza is limited, land is limited, and most importantly, your time is limited. This is called scarcity. Because everything is limited, we have to make choices. If you are watching this video right now, it means you are not scrolling through Instagram Reels or studying for your exam. You gave up something to get something. In economics, this is called opportunity cost. Think about it. When you buy a shirt for 2,000 rupees, the real cost isn't the money. The real cost is the 2,000 rupees worth of pizza you can now not eat. Every decision has a price. Now imagine what if you had to make everything yourself? Your phone, your clothes, your food? Impossible, right? Humans can't survive alone. That's why we trade. You do the work you are good at, and I do the work I'm good at. This is called comparative advantage. The source gives a great example. Even if you are bad at everything, I mean terrible at everything, you will still be less bad at one thing compared to others. That is your role. When buyers and sellers meet, it creates a market. The market has one rule: incentives. People work for profit. If tomatoes are 200 rupees a kilo, you'll buy less. If they're 10 rupees a kilo, you'll make tomato chutney every day. This simple logic runs the world. Here comes the most famous concept in economics: supply and demand. Demand, how much you want something. Supply, how much companies are making of that thing. Imagine a new iPhone launches. There are thousands of buyers, high demand, but the shop has only 10 phones. Low supply. What happens? The price goes up. But if a company makes 1 crore phones and no one wants to buy them, the price drops. Where these two meet, that is the equilibrium price. This is that magical number where both the buyer and seller are happy. But sometimes the government steps in and says, no, this price is wrong. This is called price control, and trust me, it usually ends in a disaster. Imagine a world without money. You go to a shop and say, brother, take my goat and give me 1 month of Wi-Fi in exchange. Difficult, right? That's why we invented money. Money is just a medium of exchange. It makes trade smooth, like economic lubricant. It helps us measure the value of things and save for the future. In the old days, people used gold, then paper notes, and now digital numbers. The reality is, money is only money as long as we all trust it. The day that trust breaks, that paper note is just trash. Now let's talk about banks. Banks don't just store your money. They take your money and lend it to someone else. Think about it. The bank keeps your money safe, but actually that money isn't in the vault. It's circulating in the market. When a bank gives a loan, they essentially create new money. This is called fractional reserve banking. The bank only keeps a tiny fraction of cash in reserve. There's a scary side to this. If everyone goes to the bank at the same time to ask for their money, a bank run, the bank will have nothing to give. That's why we have central banks like the RBI to ensure the system doesn't fail. Now let's talk about the thing that troubles us all: inflation, mehengai. Inflation means prices go up and the value of your 100 rupee note goes down. People ask, why doesn't the government just print notes and end poverty? Listen to the example of Zimbabwe from the source.
The government there printed so many notes that you needed $1 trillion just to buy one egg. Why? Because if everyone suddenly has lots of money, but the amount of goods in the market stays the same, too much money chasing too few goods, prices will skyrocket. Inflation happens when demand is higher than supply, or when money is printed beyond the limit. We often hear India will become a $5 trillion economy. What is this GDP? GDP is the total value of all goods and services produced in a country in 1 year. The formula is simple. C plus I plus G times X minus M. C is consumption, your spending. I is investment, business spending. G is government spending, roads, schools, defense. And X minus M is exports minus imports. If we sell goods to other countries, export, GDP goes up. If we buy, import, money goes out. But remember, GDP doesn't tell you everything. If you work at home for free, like your mom cooking, that's not counted in GDP. If crime increases and the police budget goes up, GDP increases, but are we happy? No. The government needs money to run roads, bridges, and the army. The government doesn't run a business, so where does the money come from? From you. Taxes. Income tax, corporate tax, and the biggest one, GST. The government takes this money and spends it on public goods like streetlights and defense. These are things no single person would buy on their own. But often the government earns less and spends more. This is called a budget deficit. To fill this gap, the government takes loans. That is why every country is drowning in debt. Even the USA has over $34 trillion in debt. These days, your t-shirt is made in Bangladesh, your phone in China, and the software in India. This is globalization. Countries make what they are best at. This makes things cheaper, but there is a downside. If another country makes cheaper goods, factories here might close. That's why jobs keep shifting. How is your salary decided? By supply and demand. If you can do a job that no one else can do, high demand, low supply, your salary will be high. If you do a job that anyone can do, the salary will be low. Simple rule. The more rare your skill, the higher your bill. So friends, this was economics in a nutshell, from scarcity to inflation. We saw that resources are limited, so we have to make choices. We saw that markets run on incentives, and the government controls the economy through taxes and the printing press. Remember, economics is not just about money. It is about human behavior. We are irrational, we are emotional, and that's why markets sometimes crash. Next time you go to the market or hear about GDP on the news, you will know what is actually going on. If you found this video value for money, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, what do you think India needs to fix first to become a superpower? Subscribe to Everything Simplified. See you in the next video. Until